I'm here. Just have to get some things set up here. Okay, looks like I'm live. Got a few people here tonight. I just got to check everything out. Can you hear me okay? We'll get that checked out first. Oh, goodness. Hi, I'm here. Hi, Kim. Hi, Gladys. Okay. Great, as long as you can hear me and see me, and I've switched the cameras now. So, nice to have everyone here. I'm going to share a few things that hopefully I can get through it. It's been a while since I've done this, so we're going to take it one step at a time and see if I can get through this. So tonight what I want to do is I want to share with you some of the things that I learned when I first started paper piecing, and some of the challenges and how I overcame them. So the first one was, how do I do this? And I have started making my own things to help me go through everything. Glad the sound is good. And so I'm just going to take me off of full screen and see if I can still maneuver this stuff. Okay, so on my desk I have a template, and I found there are a lot of different ways or different things that when I little symbols and things like that that were in the templates that I chose. And paper piecing will probably come with different sections and everything like that. So I'm going to try and show you how I worked with that, but tonight I'm just going to work on a simple square in a square. So I have made my own, and this is page 2 of the pieces that I do. I have 3 pages that if you'd like you can download them. I am hoping that right after the video I can put them in a PDF form and have them available for you to print out. So here is my template, and this is just one piece, and I'm only going to be working with one piece, and I'm going to go through the sections. So whatever you whatever template or pattern that includes multiple templates, I'm going to show you some of the things that I ran into. So the first thing was, here I have a template for a square and a square. So the first thing was printing off the PDF. You have to print it off at 100%. It's storming here. Kim says it's storming here, getting lots of rain, but some severe storms too. Yes, be careful, Kim. And I know I saw that you are getting someone to help you lift your sewing machine up, I do believe, if I am correct, so that maybe you can get back to sewing. Okay, so here is the stitching template. And the stitching template has the sections, and each one of these sections are fabric. Yeah, Durley. Kathy, how you doing? Great, I'm glad Kim's safe and sound. Okay, so here is the square and the square. So the first thing when printing it off is I'm going to try and share my screen and just go through some of the things that okay, I'm going to try to go through some of the things that I had a challenge with, and that's not what I want. Here's what I want. Okay, so I'm going to click off on some of these, and you might see something silly come on the screen, but it'll clear to where I want to go. Okay, there you are. Now I'm just going to check and make sure that you can see this. And I'm just, okay, there. Oh, that's not what I want. I want, where is it here? Here. You're going to see some dumb things on there, but, okay. I found where I want to go. Good, okay. And just make sure I have everything set up here before I carry on. Okay. So you're seeing me doing some funny things on my laptop. But this is going to, it's going to help me show some things. And that little thing on the side there should disappear in a minute. Hi, Guess Who, Nancy? Nancy Guess. And I'm sorry if I miss seeing you and saying hi to you. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so on my screen, you will see the program that I work in. And it's not a program that is specifically for it's not a quilting app or anything like that. I am using Silhouette Studio, which is a you can see at the top on, now is my cursor moving? Well, anyway, you can see at the top there, you should see where it says Silhouette Studio, and that is the program I'm working with. It's not designed for quilt making, however, I found it very, very helpful. And so this is one page. Now I'm going to go over to the other page here. And it might take there we go. Okay. So here's the stitching template. And I am going to open up one more thing. Is when you get the file, which is in PDF form, and I'm going to click on that, and There we are. So you should be seeing on your screen a PDF file. I just opened it up, and this program, this PDF program is, yes, Nancy, it's similar to Adobe. It's similar to a lot of things, and it's for the Cameo cutting machines. Now, on the screen here, I have. I got to keep my mouse moving so I know that it's working. Anyway, this is what you should open up in a PDF file. Now, I am going to go to and see if I can get the problems I came up with or had when I was printing out PDF files. So this is the PDF file that I want to print. Now, you have to print it at 100%. So I am going to go up to, I'm not sure where all the little icons are here, so I'm just going to go up to File and Print. So here is the print area that I'm going to be working with, and I have a little cheat sheet that I'm going to be using because this is new to me, so I've done this. So what you're seeing is a print preview of what is in your printer. Now these settings are in your printer settings. They're not in anything else other than your printer. So here's a picture of what I want to print out. So on the pages section here, where it says all pages. Now your printer may have a few different things, but it should do everything that I'm going to tell you. So printing from the PDF file, I've selected this area and it's pages. Above that it says copies. If I want to print one copy, I can. So I am going to select selection, and there. So select pages from the sidebar. So there is only one page on this sidebar. So next, I do not want to print in color, so I'll turn that off. Next, I want to go down to where my file says PDF gear, and you shall see something that says auto rotate or whatever it is. I'm going to turn that off because I don't know what it means. Hi, Mary Jane. Nice to see you. Okay, so we were in this section. I'm going to turn off auto rotate, and then I'm going down to where it says scale. So I'm going to, I don't want scale to fit. That's not what I want. I want scale. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to make sure that my printer is going to print it at 100%. Next, I'm going to go down to layout. Your printer should have this. If it doesn't, I'm not sure, but I'll explain what else you can do. So the only section I want in this section here is in the one section you're going to find in your printer section where it says flip horizontally, and we're going to be needing that later. So I'm just going to click this and put it down because I don't want to print, and that I'm going to get it rid of. So when I've printed it at 100%, let me just change something here. Okay. I want to turn the screen share off for a second, and okay, we'll go to, here I am, and now laptop. Okay, I'm just getting things set up here. It's been a while since, okay, what have I got on? Okay, there we are, back to where I want to be. When you print it out, you should have page 2 of the PDF that I'm going to include, and I've given you 2 copies of the template. And so now we're going to talk about what papers. What are you going to use for your paper piecing? The thing, this copy is just on regular printer paper, and that's what a lot of people will use. So there are other products out there, and I have tested to see. The biggest problem I had was getting things that I wanted to use through my printer. So the first thing, and I have some examples here, and what I have been able to print with my printer, which is an Epson EcoPrint. Now, your printer might not take some of the papers that you want to use, and they may get jammed and everything. And I am using an inkjet printer. They're safe to use, and so now the first thing that I tried was printing on what they call onion skin. I don't know whether you've heard that. I know we used to use it we used it to make carbon copies when I worked in the office. Okay, so here is my onion skin paper. And if I would have tried to put this through the printer, it wouldn't work. It just wouldn't take it. So how did I get it to print on this? Well, in one of my other videos, I showed you where I took a simple colored piece of paper and and I used a product called, it's Aline's Tack It Over and Over. And just give me a second here. What did I do with it? It's a glue, but I have shown you that previously. Well, have I lost it? I do not see it. But anyway, that's how I got it. I tried glue stick. I tried everything. And I could not get it to go through my printer and this to come off. It either stuck to the paper and I ruined my printout. So that is what I did, was I used the Aline's Tack It Over and Over, and I just dabbed it all over this page, and it makes it tacky. So the paper is going to be tacky. And once you put your onion skin on, and flatten it down. Now you will have to follow the instructions for the tack it over and over again. But these sheets that have the tack it over and over again on them, they're reusable. And if one gets not sticky any longer, then you can just reapply it or use a new piece of paper. So that's how I got this to print out. I'm not happy with the result. Onion skin is really quite thin. Not a preferable thing, but I mean, if that's all you have at the time before you go and buy any other products, you can try that. So it worked. So that's how I printed this one out. And those are my stitching templates. So the next thing I tried was, this is packing paper. Just ordinary packing paper that you get at U-Haul, or I can't remember the other thing. I would not recommend, I know you use it for kids stuff. Shoot, I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, I did the same thing with this. I cut my packing paper to 8.5 by 11, and then I put my paper on and just secured it on there. And packing paper was cheap, so that's what I started out by using. And when I ran or printed it off, and again, you can copy as well. If you've printed off one copy, you can copy. So I can see a little bit through here, but yeah, it's not bad. But it did print, and it didn't jam in my printer. So that one is the packing paper. So that's one option, or two options. Next, this, what I'm printing on, is June Taylor's Perfect Piecing Foundation Sheets. It's almost like a papery feel, and it went through my printer without any backing, and I had no problem printing on it, and it came out fine. However, if I had to print off every single one of these, and this method, these options are printing on different things, and I'll show you why I don't use them. Now, they're pricey. This one contains 50 sheets. So I don't know what the price of this was, because it came in a gift pack that I got. And I'm wasting all this side of paper. I'm going to throw this out if I stitch through the lines, because you're going to be tearing the papers off. So that is one option, and you can see that it's whatever, but you're going to be throwing this away. Okay, Kim says she doesn't have a printer and no place to put it. Well, that's no problem. You can draw out your pieces, and I'll show you how to do that later. What's this one? Oh, what is this one? The last one, and my preferred paper is freezer paper. And why do I like freezer paper? It's because I'm not going to be stitching through the paper. I am going to be folding it and stitching along the stitch line. Anything that is waste, when I cut out my template, I can use it again or use it for other things. I use freezer paper. Comes in, I'll show you some of your options for freezer paper. First is the Reynolds freezer paper. You must make sure that you are using freezer paper. Freezer paper is not wax coated. Freezer paper is plastic coated. And Reynolds is very expensive. Since people, I think, have come up with using foundation paper piecing, that Reynolds has, for some reason, it's just way too expensive. And I buy it in the rolls. You can buy freezer paper in 8.5 by 11 sheets, but then again, it gets pricey. So that is one option. The next one I found is from Western Family. Now, I'm not sure if this is a Canadian product or not. It looks like it is because it's, it's imported by Save On Foods. Save On Foods. Again, this one is this color. You can't see through it, but we're going to work around that. So here is the freezer paper. This one is longer, 18 inches wide, and this one is 15 inches wide. Kim says freezer paper is great for so many quilting things. Yeah, not only quilting, but you'd be surprised at the things I use it for. One thing I do is all my offcuts I save. You can iron them on. You know, all your lost little notes? Thanks for sharing your channel, Gladys. You can share anybody's you want. I save all my freezer paper scraps because if I want to make a note, and you know how a little piece of paper or sticky note will get lost? Well, freezer paper doesn't. Freezer paper, you can put it wherever you want it, and you can iron it on. That way, you know where you put your little note. And the only way that freezer paper is no good after you use it is the back, the plastic coating will get, the plastic coating will collect any lint and everything. So that is the only reason. The plastic coating does not attach to your fabric. The fabric attaches to this. So even though it's plastic coated, the plastic is not going into your fabric. The fabric, little pieces of lint from your fabric will stick to the freezer paper. So it's like the plastic doesn't stick to your fabric. Okay, so there's my little note. I need to save that little note because I'm doing a test on to see how much shrinkage one of my fabrics does. Okay, so the next one my daughter found, and it is, I think she got this one off of Amazon. It's the same width as the Reynolds wrap, but okay, Kathy, yeah, if you've never used it, And you just have to make sure that it is freezer paper and it does say plastic coated. Someone I saw said they were using parchment paper. And again, me being, well, oh yeah, I can use parchment paper. It doesn't stick. It has no coating. Do not use wax paper. That you'll gum up your iron and everything. So the last one is called Weston. Now, I don't know where she got it really, but it is on the package. It will tell you how much is in there. And it's plastic coating for strength and durability. And this one, if I read on the back of it, if I can figure out where it's from, it just says Weston. So my preferred one is the Western family. Now, I'm not sure if it's available in the U.S. or not because I am in Canada. And in Canada, everything, as you know, is more expensive. This one is wider. I can cut 2 8.5 pieces, or 2 8.5 papers with a 1-inch strip cut off when I cut my paper. And then today I just came up with a brilliant idea. I was measuring out, and I'm not sure if this makes sense to you, but my paper is 18 inches wide. And I was rolling out my paper and cutting it, 8.5 or 8 or 11 inches and then getting 2 pieces out. And then I thought, why don't I just not glue, but take a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, position it on there, and then I have a template even to cut my freezer paper, and I don't have to miscut or misread measurements. I want to cut it this size, and that's the size I'm going to cut it. And trust me, I've cut the freezer paper instead of 8.5 by 11. I've cut it different sizes. So now this is my freezer paper, and again, freezer paper will have one side that has a bit of a shine to it, and that is the plastic coated side, and the smooth side without that shine is what you need to print on. Okay, do we have any questions up until now? Okay, so, and remember, anything other than the this one here that is the June Taylor, I put the tack it over and over, and it's an Aleene's product. So now we've got our stitching template. So for our stitching template, that is what you will find in everything. You always need a stitching template. For complicated ones, like one of the elephants, you'll have stitching templates, and you'll have different pieces in that template, and then you'll sew those pieces together. So now I've included everything that you need. The next step that I'm going to show you is how do you know where to put your fabrics? What's going to go where? Because with freezer paper or just a regular, oh, thank you, Kathy. So if you printed it out on this is just plain paper. Now, you can stitch through the lines, or you can stitch next to the lines. If you stitch through the lines, you're going to need something to lay this on so that you can have it there. Most people will pin their fabric to the piece. With freezer paper, there's no pinning involved. And with freezer paper, you do not stitch through it. You fold your pieces back on that fold line and trim away the 1/4 of an inch or whatever. You'll be stitching next to the folded line. And I think I have an example of one. Okay, so here's one. And what I do, this is just a rough one that I was working with. So with this one, which is ordinary copy paper, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to fold on all those lines. My templates that I do, I have marked where you're supposed to fold. So we need to fold on those lines. So how do I get the folds in? And there's a couple of ways to do that. One, you can use a ruler. The edge of your ruler is going to line up on that fold line. And if you notice, there's, I have indicated stitching lines by little tiny dots. The little tiny dots are stitching lines. These are stitching the fabrics together in this section. The black outline is a cutting for the template. And this stitch line here is when you stitch the two pieces together. This one measures 4.5 inches, and I've labeled that 4.5 inches. Get my ruler here. 4.5 inches unfinished, and that means that it has not been sewn into the two pieces are not sewn in. It's unfinished. You need to sew something on those sides. The dotted lines are the finished size, and that measures 4 inches, and it should be a 4-inch square. Okay, so now how do we, I always pre-fold everything. So to pre-fold, how are we going to do it? Well, you can use a ruler. You place the edge of your ruler right along the edge of that fold line. Now, when you fold it over on that line, you're going to pick this up and run it so the edge, you're going to use something to bring it up like this. If you fold it over like that on this ruler, that is not the fold line. You'll notice that this ruler, if I folded it back and you fold, try to explain this here, you want to fold on that fold line. So I'm just running my finger right along the edge. If I bring this over and run my finger along the top of that ruler, that is not going to be where my fold line is. So now we've got one side folded, and we're going to fold it back and crease it. So we have a nice fold line, which is our stitching line. If you do it the traditional way with paper that you're going to tear off after, you will stitch on that line. If you're using freezer paper, or you adapt to make it so that you can do this without using the freezer paper, you'll fold it back. And I just forgot what I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, Anyway, you'll need that fold line. That's your stitching line. You can fold it, stitch next to the line, and it'll be like freezer paper, but you're going to have to use a glue stick or something to use to get it to stick. Anyway, what's another solution? Another solution is, I had it here. Here it is. One of these little things. Now, it's a thingy. When I can't remember the name of something, I call it a thingy. So this is a thingy right now. But it's used in pattern making. And you can line up your ruler along that line. And with your thingy, with the little points, you can run that across. The only thing, I would not do it on your good cutting mat. Use an old cutting mat or whatever. But what I found is that one, using it on a cutting mat, it didn't really give me a nice folded edge. And if I went over it a couple of times, I disintegrated my paper. So what did I use? You need something soft. And I use, this is a glue mat. Thank you, Kim. Okay, it's no longer a thingy, it's a tracing wheel. Thank you very much. Boy, do I need help sometimes. Okay, so it didn't give me a nice fold. So this is just a glue mat, and I think it's just a piece with silicone or whatever. So that's what I do. The only thing is, when I'm using the silicone, I've got that one folded. We'll fold and we'll try on a different piece. So I'll line up my ruler, and you need sort of something soft. And this is what I found works the best for me. And when I run that tracing wheel, that is no longer a thingy, I'm going to run it along there. I'm just going to put just medium pressure. And that now has left, give me a second here, it's left little, I don't know whether you can see that or not, but it's left little sort of indentations. And that's great. And it folds right along there. And I fold everything before. So those are options. Oh, one more option I forgot. If you don't have a thingy, better known as a tracing wheel, and you don't like that option with using the ruler and folding it back, you don't have fingernails or whatever, you can use a stylus. This one is for, I don't know what it is, but a stylus is just a sort of pen type product that has a little ball on the end of it. And it will mark and a crease. Again, if you use it on a hard surface, it's not going to work as well. But using this silicone cutting mat, or even if you have a piece of cardboard that you can lay underneath it rather than have it directly on your surface. So you can take this and just lightly run it along there a couple of times. And that should give you a nice fold. And you can see here where I have gone through because I pressed too hard. You can also use a ballpoint pen that has no ink in it. It'll work too. So now what happens with paper like this that you had to rip stitches out and things like that? That's where freezer paper comes in. Instead of using tape, put a piece of freezer paper on the back of it with the shiny side down. It'll stick there. And I'll give you some tips. When you're working with freezer paper, you do have to be careful because it will stick to your iron and it will stick to certain products. And the way I got away from that was using a simple baking sheet that's designed to go into the oven. You can buy Teflon mats or whatever, but they're expensive. And so I went to the dollar store and bought just a cheap dollar, whatever it was, for the baking sheets. Baking sheets will come in white or in a, I don't know whether I have one under here. Oh, yes, I do. Or this brownie color. And they both work the same. You can press your freezer paper. Gotta find, wow, we'll just use this. You can press your freezer paper onto, whoops. I'm not supposed to press with the iron on that. That's why you have pressing mats, Shirley. And I forgot. So anyway, we'll use this. The freezer paper will stick to that baking sheet, but you can pull it off and it hasn't done anything to the surface of the paper. Yes, Mary Jane says she uses a postcard. Yes, you want something that is thin. You don't want to have something thick. Great idea, Mary Jane. Or I know some people will use credit cards. There's also products like template plastic. This is a template plastic, and you can use that to fold up against your paper. There's lots of options. And I just happen to have this, and I use it for other things too. So that is that part of it. I don't want to go too much because I know that not Ian, but Eric Oda is coming on tonight, I do believe. He better be, because I want to watch him. Anyway, the next thing is, once we have our templates are for the stitching template, is now we have to decide our fabrics. Okay, so how are we going to figure out where we want to put our fabrics? Because with paper piecing, this is the wrong side of your finished piece. This is what it's going to look like when you stitch your pieces on. I can't see through it. I want to know where I need to put my colors. If you color these things, if you color on the stitching template, it's when you turn it over and you want red to be on the right. When you color in number 2 section and you turn it over, that red's going to be on the left. So how do we deal with that? There's a couple of ways. One is a light box. A light box costs money. You can turn it over and hold it up to the light, and you can sort of see through and everything. You can use a window and color in the sections, but you want to color them in on the wrong side. So what is another way? Don't have a light box, use a window, and you can play or put your color placement. So if you want red over here, then when you flip it over, this side is red. So now, how did I solve that? I don't have a light box. I don't want to hold my paper up to a mirror. So there is one option, and that is print your pattern in reverse. So this is the wrong side. When I flip it over, I now have this. Number 2 is on this side. It's all reversed. So you know that this template in reverse is what you're going to see when you're finished sewing all your pieces on, and you can color that in. And you can do that, or in the PDF files that I am going to give along with whatever I'm doing here, I have simplified that for you, that if you don't know how to print in reverse, and that is, just give me a second here while I bring up, where is it here? Okay. Am I back now? Ah. Oh goodness, that was scared the daylights out of me. Okay, we're back, yes? Okay. Okay, so what? Okay, great. So what I was talking about, I think, is I was going to, and I think I did something wrong here, but I want to stop something here and share my screen again. And that's what happened. Okay. So now, help. Can you still hear me? Okay. Just give this 1 second. I've got a black screen, but I think I was playing with something, so I'm hoping it'll come back. It was me that did it. When it comes back on, oh, heaven's sakes. I can hear you, but I can't see you. Yeah, it's called Brain Dead Shirley tonight. Okay. Too many buttons. There we are. Okay. Give me a minute while I play with things that I shouldn't be playing with. Okay. Okay, I now am where I want to be. hopefully. Okay, so what you should see here is where I printed my, yep, right. What I is on your screen right now is when you're printing your PDF for the stitching template, in your printer settings, in the layout section, you will see a button that says flip horizontally, and mine is right here. And if you look on the left side where the image is of the paper of what you want to print out, if you click that flip horizontal, that is how I got that to flip horizontally. Okay, so that's what I was trying to do when I was so rudely interrupted by my own self. Okay, so now you know how to do it if you have a printer. But because I know that everybody probably, I'm going to cancel this out. And you're going to see funny things happening here because okay, I'm going to flip that down. Okay, and now we're going to yeah, I'm back. I didn't say I was smart or good looking, but anyway. So that's how I got it to flip in reverse. If you have that, you can now color yours in and it'll be in the right spot. So don't color on the stitching template side, color on the back side, because that's where your thing is going to end up. But because of me and my weird ways, I have, oops, there we are. Okay, I have done all that for you. And I've given you I'm going to be giving you 4 coloring pages, because we're going to be working in the next section that we're going to be working on. We're going to be working with fabrics and fabric placements and how to deal with images or fabrics that are directional. And it's not that hard, but it can be confusing. So what I have here now is the coloring template. And if you notice, when I place this up against here, number 2 is there, 3 is there, 4 is there, and 5 is there. And that is all you need up to this size, or up to this point. And so you are going to work with your stitching templates, cut them out, and again, I have given the stitching templates. Stitching templates are page 1. So that will be in a PDF file, or page 1 is the coloring template, and page 2 is the stitching template. So really, those are the only 2 things that you need right now. We're going to pick colors, and I do have a bit of time. I'm only going to go for maybe about 15 minutes more, and in the files that you'll get, the PDFs, I have given you template pieces to cut out your fabrics. There is no measuring. When I do a file, there's no measuring. You don't have to guess and say, well, what kind of square do I need or whatever. There's no math involved. I've done all the math for you, and this is page 3 PDF. I've given 2 fabric templates, and this is enough to make 2 of the stitching templates. And that we're going to talk about after, because when we go to the cutting of our fabrics, that's where that is going to come in, because we're not going to be cutting triangles and have to measure. And what I like about this method is that I cut my pieces and I don't cut them incorrectly. I have a template. I don't have to use a ruler, so my mind is focused on cutting on the lines, not trying to figure out, how much do I need to cut. There's a template for each one of the sections in the pattern. The only thing you have to figure out is whether you're going to place your template on the right side of the fabric or the wrong side of the fabric. And I'll explain that when we go to the fabric section. Now, what I have here again, and I'll try not to screw this up, is everybody understanding what I'm saying? If you're not up on paper piecing or whatever, am I making sense to you? Is it clear now what paper piecing is? Is everybody still there? Oh my goodness. Oh, Mary Jane. Mary Jane, you're an FPP expert. Okay, great. I thought I lost everybody. You can always go back and rewatch the disaster tonight. Okay, so now, in the program that I'm using, and if I can find it here, hopefully, what have I got here? I got to just read the screen. Okay. Now just give me a minute here while I play with things again so you can see what I'm doing. I want that off, and I want screen share. And at any time, if anybody needs any help understanding something or has any questions, you can, I forgot to turn that off. Okay. I got flustered there. There we are. Now coming up here. Okay. I have in my program here, I have made up a little thing here that this is what it's going to look like on the wrong side of the paper, and this is a finished block. And these are just some of the ways you can lay out your fabrics. Okay, now I'm going to move over here. Okay, so here's the stitching template, and I'm going to move this off to the side. I should have brought the other one up first. Okay, I'm just going to minimize the thing here, and my program is messing up a bit here. I'm going to just bring up, come on, there. Okay, so now I'm going to work with the coloring template, and I'll put that back in here so you can see that that's what I'm working with. So there's our coloring template. And now we're going to pick out colors. And just give me a second. Okay, I just have to ungroup this so I can play with colors. And I'm going to be zooming in. Come on. Oh, the dreaded wheel. Okay, I've ungrouped it. Nope, I haven't. I want those pieces separate. Okay. Ungroup. Okay, it's just going to take, oh, there now. Okay. It's come up here now where everything that I've put on that piece is ungrouped, and we're just going to play with some colors here. So, and my program doesn't like this. Okay, so now this is the coloring template. So this is what we're looking at. So in number 2 section, I am going to change that there. Okay, so number 2 is highlighted. So I want to put some color in there. And we're going to do 4 corners with, let's put in, oh, this is, let's put in another color. Maybe we'll put in this color. There we go. And now I'm going to put in section 3, 4, and 5. I want those to be the same color. So we're going to go up here and we'll select that pink. And there we have another look at what a square and a square will look like. We can also reverse it. We can put the pink in there and the white on the outsides. So that is your stitching template, so that you know when we go to the next step to working. Yes, Kathy's, yes, in your painted meadow, and you're using the hey, brain's gone again. Fat Quarter Shop. It's so Emma papers, and those you're going to be peeling them out and throwing them away. And that's why I prefer the freezer paper. Also, there's no pinning involved. It's just, I find it much easier. So this is one option. Now I can take that little thing out of there if I want, but I wanted to put that back in there so I know I'm working with the coloring template, but you'll have, your coloring template will have all the information on it. Okay, so now we can play with colors. And once we get to this point here, is we've got our stitching template, and we're going to pick colors. Now I'm going to minimize that, and I'm just going to, okay. Just give me a second here. Where is this? Okay, just my one camera, I think, has just disconnected here for a second. I'm just going to check some settings. Well, it should be. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm trying to get... Okay. Yep. So now you can see me at the desk again. We have our stitching template. We know where we want to put our colors. And so we have a bunch of colors. And I think I'm just about up my 15 minutes. But next time I'm on, and I hope to be on tomorrow evening about 6 or 6:30. I have to schedule the live and make sure I have everything ready so everything is available for you tomorrow night to download all the PDF files. Oh, one thing I did forget is how do you cut these out? Well, there's, you'll cut out your pieces. You can use scissors, or I have, and if you're a paper crafter, you might have one of these, but I use a, pardon me, I'm here, I'm just grabbing something. So I am using a Fisker's cutter, and this cutter, you can use a ruler or whatever and cut them out with a rotary cutter, or you can use scissors to cut out, but don't use your good scissors, use paper scissors. But I have a Fisker's paper cutter, and this one has the little, there's a little metal or a little wire that runs along there, and I will line up my wire just to the right of that solid black line. But before I do that, this is my paper copy. Yeah, I am going to cut off the bottom of the page. And on the bottom of the page is, it says square and a square, 4.5 inch unfinished, 4 inch finished, and it says around to it Shirley at gmail.com. You can contact me by email. Anytime you need help, I can Zoom with you, I can FaceTime with you, and I can message you. Okay, there we have, but we don't throw that away. We keep it. If it's freezer paper, you can iron it onto your pieces after you're done, and then you won't forget what they are. Also, the pages that I've done, I'm going to line up those two pieces, and they're in line. So you can just cut out like one swipe, turn it over, cut out the other side. And again, this, I find this paper cutter is terrific because I can line up my little wire just to the right of that solid black line and cut. So that's how I do. This is waste. Use it to write notes. It won't stick to your ironing board like freezer paper does, but it'll get lost. This little dope won't. So now, what else? That's one thing I forgot to tell you. Am I making any sense at all? I hope so. Okay. Now, where was I before I interrupted myself? If I can get the files ready tonight, to download them tonight, I will, and you can... Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Gladys. I will check on that. I didn't complete my message. Well, that was dumb. I had wrote a message in there, a comment, and I said, "Are you still there?" 2 question marks, and I didn't send it. That's what happens when you get whatever. Um, so next week, tomorrow night, tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow night, we'll talk about the templates, the fabric templates, and cutting out our fabrics. And I hope I've made some sense tonight. And for those of you who've never done paper piecing, or that some of the things that I've showed you will help. So fabric will be cutting out or choosing our fabrics, and if I have time or whatever, I might do a short video or whatever on choosing colors for our square and a square. So it's just about time. I hope. I haven't gotten a notification for, oh, I know why. It's because I'm on my channel and I'm in the wrong place. So I will check Gladys on that. Thank you everyone for visiting. My Facebook link is in the description below the video, and the files will be in the description below the video. There might be three PDFs to download. If you have any problems downloading them, just email me at the email that's in the description below the video, and I will email you the files. No charge. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining me. Sorry about all the kerfuffle that I was going through, but I haven't been doing this for a while. And you will see, I don't know whether you've noticed or not, but you will see me looking like this. And that's just what's been happening lately, and why I have taken a break from YouTube. You'd probably like to see me, wouldn't you? There I am. See? Anyway, yeah, that's me. So we'll talk tomorrow night. And it'll be, I'll set it for, oh, I'm losing it now. It'll be alive, and I'll set up so you'll be notified of. I did not get a notification, so I don't know whether anybody else got a notification that I was going to be on in 30 minutes. But thanks, guys. I appreciate every one of you. So if I've forgotten anything, I'll tell you tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye, everyone, and have a great evening.